I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did. I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Alright, now that he's done talking, we're back with part 2, right where we left off. We're just heading into the next mission here. Now we're after Henry Plummer, after we just took out the cowboys. We're gonna actually try out the quick shooter here. I still think this, I think the Ranger's still my favorite gun. The 6-shooter's not that bad, though. This is basically just mainly for speed. It doesn't really have the best range out of them, but usually it's not too different. Most guns work the same way in this game. But alright, let's just continue our journey here.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us. As long as you don't light up a cigar, we're fine.
Yeah, besides, George is up there on the rocks with that rifle of his. Nothing gets past him.
My late father pointed out to me more than once. God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal.
See, like, even though this is the quick shooter, it still has pretty decent range on it.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's son. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. Plummer had a
There's way
lot
too many
of men
barrels
on his
here.
payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach.
Plummer wants that.
Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize. They must have thought I was touched. Or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. I thought I was some kind of hero.
Hopefully that was the last one. It's not fun fighting near TNT barrels.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out.
So can I push this?
I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Western
It
Games
was
and
the
mining
quickest way
tunnels.
in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Oh, he was about to throw dynamite.
You ain't beefing me. Besides,
What the
once
hell?
you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Oh shit. Well, at least they give me this
Single
last
stumble or
stand
misstep
mode.
can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
God, you take so much fall damage. That wasn't even a big fall.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come.
There you go, but down, I
With
guess.
all that
Oh shit.
gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what he's shooting at.
Thank God it doesn't pierce through them. That would have been real bad.
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
It's not good.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, way into the mine from the opposite side.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about this game, like the way it's stylized, because that's actually supposed to happen, because he's just telling
It
a
was a long
story,
way
so it
around,
changes
but that
according to how he's
approach
telling
seemed
it.
more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, no man can dodge a damn bullet while climbing down a rickety ladder. I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder.
Elevators are never a good idea.
I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell?
And that's why we don't use the elevator.
Somebody's coming!
Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there.
So was that guy there the whole time?
Taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Except we're not going that way.
worse and worse for you.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was gonna take some.
Yeah, once you get the skill to throw back dynamite, Henry Plummer's not really that hard to deal with. And watch him kill me.
Sorry, son of a bitch! You can't hide from me.
Where did he even go? There he is.
They're gonna bury you in a million pieces!
And he runs so fast.
No blood money for you today! Said you could throw dynamite!
Wait, did he throw my dynamite back?
You killed me!
No, I think that was one of my sticks.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Here we go. Took him out. But yeah, there's always mining areas in Western games, and they're always really fun. I just always like the themes. I actually can't wait to get to Gun to see what that game's like, because it looks like a game I would have loved, but let's just continue here.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself. I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
Oh, come on.
I thought
where
the
those
Texas
bullets are
Rangers
going.
got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold in a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres.
This is actually one of my
Very same
more
saloon
favorite
we're
missions in
sitting
the game.
today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. Fathers and husbands, brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them. Families who put up money in hopes of finding justice. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shit, it's cold out here. Freezing my giblets off.
Ain't right, we gotta stay out here keeping watch like this. Ain't nobody stupid enough to go after Hardin anyway.
Better 3 hours early than a minute too late.
God damn it! Shoot that son of a bitch!
They didn't ask why I was there. They knew. As most of them were wanted as well. I figured Hardin was here somewhere, but to get to him, I'd have to get past his gun hands. I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friends. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the Bull's Head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
Sorry, son of a bitch!
Geez, that guy got one hell of a shot.
Someone's coming for him.
Stop that son of a bitch!
Let the boys know we got another law dog.
This is the rifle situation.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Yeah, sometimes when they talk, it sounds like their voices are like right next to me. Could have swore there was a dude right there. I guess we're going this way.
And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration. I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Man, what the hell? That guy didn't want to die.
I was disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West. I felt a bolt of adrenaline, or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
If I remember the trick to his duels, you actually you gotta dodge him. Holy shit, my crosshair.
That man was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
So he didn't die?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back in a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben?
So yeah, I really like that mission mainly because of the town shootout that you have, but it's a little anticlimactic because it kind of just ends before you actually win the duel, but that's still one of my favorite missions in the game. But let's just continue here.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
Personally, I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, did you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation. A bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head, and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
Alright, we're in mission 7, I think, already?
Grey
Episode
Wolf was
5.
a Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him.
Yeah, Call of Juarez and Apaches. And spirit guiding wolves. That's actually something that happened in Bound in Blood.
They saw me before I saw them.
I didn't even notice that other guy. Just making sure there's no one on my left. Yeah, dude, the bullet time and everything in this game is just so, it's just so awesome.
And it crossed my mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting has started, there was no backing down.
There's actually a nugget of truth somewhere in here, too. As far as I remember, at least.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there.
God damn. He's not even aiming, he's just hip firing.
I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
Whoa, there's a lot of them now.
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Oh. Didn't even see that.
See, back then, I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the walls.
Not hitting that guy. There's actually a nugget of truth in this direction, too, I think. God damn, they had an ambush. I think it's somewhere over here. We're not actually picking them up. I've already got all of them. I'm just saying. Oh no! I think that's the first time I died. Well, the first actual time I died. The other one was like a scripted moment. Not gonna jump me in here this time? Weird, there was like a lot more of them before.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
Jesus. And they're throwing everything at us now.
How come you know so much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
So what happened?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since.
No, I mean, what happened with Grey Wolf?
Oh, well, I pursued him into the Cave of Death. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
You will come to this place again.
Alright, are my bullets even going anywhere?
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow if the eye had no tears.
he said I was a great warrior, a coyote man. unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely snakes. And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
That was sketchy. This part's actually kind of tricky on True West difficulty as well. So we are on hard, so you don't have to worry too much.
I swear I couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle.
We're safely out of there.
I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo's right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened to me. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of...
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that, little lady.
I don't know why I'm dual wielding at this point. Dual wield's only like really good at really close distances. I was wondering what that noise was. It's the dude falling over.
Steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me.
And if he really meant us no harm, why would he be sending all of his Apache after us like this? Oh, I remember this part too. This part's really tricky on True West.
And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it ended.
All right, but I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Part where they rush you isn't that bad, but they start surrounding you with guns as well. Thank God they're starting to miss their shots.
And in the end, a path appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty.
There we go. That's the end of that mission. Jeez, there was 93 people on that mission. That's a lot of enemies. Okay, they just throw them at you. That's what I like about this one the most, is how action-packed it is. It'd be awesome if they made another Call of Juarez, especially if they don't repeat the mistakes they made with the cartel. All right, let's continue here.
Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street.
Let's just stock up here. This is another really good episode.
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding him about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
Basically just be kicking down doors and taking them all out.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait to send the bitches out.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
And you'd think they just wouldn't even want to fight anymore.
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Greaves?
Jim Booth,
Son of
Davy
a
Crockett,
bitch!
who died defending the Alamo.
What the heck just happened? Son of a bitch! That asshole just killed me.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, let's try this again. He just shot me through this. Oh, he's moving this time. There we go. But yeah, I really like this mission. This mission's really cool. Oh, we can't bust this door down. Now we can.
Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. Dalton's blew up a safe, and we're all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeyville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville.
I don't think we're going in there. Oh! Just hiding around the corner.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. To top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
I actually think I have to go up here.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
I think this is the way I'm supposed to go.
It was Emmet, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Jesus Christ.
You messed with the wrong man, Dalton.
It's a damage sponge.
But Emmet Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Alright, we finished that mission. Yeah, that's another really fun one. Well, let's pursue after the rest of them.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Yeah, I remember this is another really fun mission. Although there's a Gatling section, I think. Gatling sections are tricky on higher difficulties because you're just forced to stand still.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks.
Man, who needs ray tracing reflections? This game actually has some pretty good ones. I know they're just screen space, but sometimes screen space is really well done. Especially in like Hitman 3. Hitman 3 screen space reflections look really nuts.
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
I get attacked here?
Bury them in the plant them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
I hate that they do that stupid animation where they lean like that. It's kind of hard to hit them when they do that.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
I think this is where they introduced the shotgun guys.
Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Now you're really pissing me off! God damn
Alright, I think we cleared them out.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So,
Damn it,
where
Steve.
was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
What the hell? Just hit me.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! Take that asshole out!
Oh, I wonder if I was hit by the dynamite. Oh, that's a good throw. Can't throw it back if it lands on top of this.
What's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Who's even throwing this dynamite?
Bury him in the swamp!
Oh, he's got a window. That was a delayed dynamite, but we got him. Shit. Man, this guy doesn't want to die.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
I think we'll go this way. And it's starting to ramp up in difficulty. They're doing a lot of damage.
That's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
God, they put a TNT barrel next to that Gatling gun. God damn it. Guy had a good shot.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Bill. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Is that a shield guy? Okay, that's just a door. Because this is the type of door they started using.
Son of a bitch!
I don't think I actually have to be up here. Oh, maybe I do.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit.
Yeah, this seems trustworthy.
But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think they're even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Breeze?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
That was a piercing headshot. Stop zigzagging.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side,
Double
determined
duel.
to take me down.
This one's always kind of
Confident
weird
that
because
this
you like
time the odds were on their side.
lose focus even when they're not moving.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmet was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
There we go, we finished that mission. I think that's a good place to end this part. We successfully hunted all of the Dalton brothers. But yeah, the double duels are a little tricky, but we've got it. I played this game a lot, and I did like the honorable duel challenge, so I know how to duel on this game. If you can see that my buttons switch to keyboard and mouse control when I do it, for me it's easier to duel with keyboard and mouse than it is with the controller, but yeah, still, man, this game is just so fun. It's just, I keep saying it, but the fast-paced like action where you're just like mowing down a bunch of guys, it just feels so cool. And it's why it's still my favorite Call of Juarez that they've ever released. But yeah. Part 3 could be the finale. We don't have many missions left, but it kind of depends on how long those missions are going to take, I suppose. But yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there.